After the current state of indie horror games, with games like Garden of Banban, many people think that we won't ever see a proper scary indie horror game at all anymore. Well, that's just what they think, because a lot of people forgot that FNaF Plus is actually a thing. And despite being another FNaF fan game, it could actually be the scariest FNaF fan game ever. Or even the scariest FNaF game ever, since I think it'll compete with games like FNaF 4 or even the original. But you may wonder why I'm thinking this way. Well, let's just start at why I think FNaF Plus could bring back the fear of what people felt when playing FNaF for the very first time. But before I do that, if you end up enjoying today's video, then why not click the subscribe button as well as hitting the like button. Either way, if you weren't on the internet for the past couple of weeks, after the release of the now famous Garden of Banban, a lot of people realized that the current state of indie horror games is declining for a very long time now. Specifically, after the release of the first Poppy Playtime chapter. Many people just don't think that we'll ever get scared the same way as we used to by indie horror games. That all of these new indie horror games are just quick cash grabs or to appeal to a younger audience. For example, things like mascot horror, which I think is a valid opinion. But one thing I was always annoyed at is people only looking at the negative things when it comes to indie horror games or even games in general. And well, since I love talking about my favorite FNaF games or games in general on this channel, I want to shine even more light on the scariest FNaF fan game ever, aka FNaF Plus. For those unfamiliar, FNaF Plus is currently developed by Phisnom and is one out of the 6 FNaF fan games of the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, and is considered to be one of the most anticipated FNaF fan games ever, being a remake / reimagining of the very first FNaF game. And what do we know about it? Well, we got a few teasers here and there over the last 2 years, and the very first teaser we got came out in September of 2020, showing us the camera layout as well as a quick look at Bonnie and Freddy in another teaser image. Then, in January of 2021, we got yet another video showing us a deeper look into Freddy's design as well as another quick look at Bonnie and Chica. On the same day, we even got a third video, this time showing us a proper look at the stage with all 3 animatronics on it. And if you're curious, this is where the Bonnie stare meme originates from. Either way, this wasn't it, because on the same day again, we got a video showing us Chica's creepy stage performance. And since that wasn't enough, a 5th video came out on the same day as well, which just showed us a view from inside Foxy with a lot of disturbing images, containing images of Freddy and the puppet, which is interesting since we never see the puppet in the first FNaF game. And then, a few months later, we got my favorite FNaF teaser of all time, being a full fleshed out story of a paranormal investigator. And it basically shows us a different perspective of the animatronics and the whole pizzeria itself. Not only that, but it also shows us the first teaser of Foxy. And the ending of this video, man, is just watch it. Either way, from here on out, we got only 2 more teasers, being a help wanted news article and the official Steam wishlist trailer, where if you're done watching this video, I highly suggest you put this game on your wishlist on Steam, since it really helps out the game a lot. Speaking of the Steam page, on it we got multiple teasers such as a view from inside the office, as well as a view from the camps, or just gameplay in general. And throughout all of this we got little teasers here and there, like a Foxy render on the now famous troll game that Phisnom sent Dawko after he tied with him on Worms, or even just these 8 posters. And the next thing I want to talk about are the animatronics themselves, including some of the cast, if you will. For example, comparing these new designs to the old ones is just not possible. I mean, if I look at the old animatronic designs now, I don't really find them to be that scary, or it's just losing its fear factor throughout the game entirely. So seeing this just brings in a new wave of fresh air. And being completely honest, with these new designs, I gotta say that I really love this uncanny vibe they give to me. I mean, Bonnie especially, for example, may look funny, but I can't wait to press the light button to see his face shine through the window. And yes, this is kinda off topic, but sadly Fangame will not be included in FNaF Plus, since Scott declined on recording voice lines for the game. But don't worry, since he'll be replaced with other characters, who we don't know yet. Be it Foxy or maybe just a radio article talking about old occurrences that happened within the pizzeria in the past. And with the new much darker tone to the pizzeria, it'll make it even creepier. And like I mentioned in my best FNaF fan games of 2022 video, FNaF Plus will include things like 5 nights with the bonus 6th and 7th custom night, lots more more post-game content, like probably challenges within the custom light, like what we saw in FNaF UCN. An entirely new interpretation of the original story, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Easter eggs as well, outside of the Chipper and Sons reference, like maybe a reference to other YouTubers, like what we saw in Five Nights at Candy's Remastered, and Phisnom, if you're doing this, I would love a IceeG reference, thank you. Or maybe just the iconic nose boop by clicking on Freddy's nose, which will 101% be there. Also, stay excited for a real challenge with the brand new Plus mode, which really brings out the Plus in FNaF Plus, which will most likely be something similar to the 420 mode we had in the first game. And something I always love in my games are achievements, which will FNaF Plus of course have, at least 20 to be exact. So that just brings out joy within the completionist in me. And if I still haven't convinced you that FNaF Plus will be the scariest FNaF game, I don't know how, let me take you on a trip down memory lane, specifically to the release of Phisnom's FNaF Fan Game called A Shadow Over Freddy's, which, although being 4 years old, I still think that the game was very underrated. And going through this game, you always feel uneasy or felt like you're being watched. So Phisnom really has a talent when it comes to making the games have an incredible, creepy atmosphere. But a good atmosphere isn't all that you need to make a good, scary game. Well, a few years later, Phisnom made a game that has now sadly been removed, called Another FNaF Fan Game Open Source, where I gotta say that this game is a work of art. I really love the redesigns of the FNaF 2 location. So a creepy atmosphere with creepy but clean looking animatronics is basically the secret formula to a perfect FNaF fan game. Actually, scrap that, a perfect FNaF game. And from what we know, this game will not be as buggy as Security Breach. And well, I really think that this is exactly what FNaF Plus is going to be. The best FNaF fan game ever, which will hit down Days After Freddy's 3, which is my current favorite FNaF fan game. Believe it or not, I really love this game. And for my console viewers out there, you'll be excited to know that sooner or later FNaF Plus will get a console port, and maybe a mobile port as well, but that's not really confirmed yet. Although it's sad that this will probably be Phil's last FNaF fan game, I also think that this will be his best. But maybe, just maybe, if FNaF Plus gets enough recognition it deserves, which I think it will, Phil may get motivation to work on, say, a FNaF 2 Plus or something like that. But if not, something like this may happen.
Looks like
Phisnom
is taking the day off. Let's motivate
Phil.
with a controlled shock.
And in the meantime, you can always watch some of my other videos, like my newest one about how Funko may have leaked something for FNaF again, or maybe how FNaF VR changed FNaF forever, which I think is very underrated. Where if you want to do that, I highly suggest you subscribe and like right away. Oh, and Phil, if you're watching, I got a present for you.